I think the best part, and we touched on it briefly earlier, is the complexities of this matchup. And it's because both teams are built differently and they execute their game plan a lot differently. I mean, the Toronto Maple Leafs decor, for example, are likely, better puck movers than the Habs. The forwards, I mean, Toronto rolls their top six 22 to 25 minutes a night, whereas if you're on the Habs top line, you're getting 19 to 20. So Montreal rolls four lines. The Leafs will, as much as they have depth, they are still going to be relying on the top six. And then the goaltenders, even like, we got Carey Price back there when he's at his best, is one of our better puck movers as well, taking a lot of pressure off the defenseman and really starting our transition to help us own the game 5-on-5. Whereas I think, I'm not sure if Jack Campbell's much of a puck mover, but I mean, the Leafs will make up for that with their defense. So it's two completely different teams, one with a bunch of elite skill and the other with, two-way forwards and a ton of depth scoring. Obviously the top sixes, Leafs gets the edge, but I think Montreal's bottom six, will get the edge over the Leafs, especially in terms of their defensive ability. I think they can. I think we're mostly obviously going to have to worry about the top six. I think we can keep the Leafs bottom six at bay, and that because you're not going to keep Matthews and Tavares and that talent off the board. We just have to hope that we can win the matchup elsewhere.
Yeah, Montreal's going to hope to score. They have to have in their head, we got to try to score at least 3 goals a game to give us a chance. 3 goals a game. We should be able to win some nights with 3 goals with Carey and nets. And at the worst case, we should be able to go to overtime if we can get 3 goals a game. So I think that's what Montreal has focused on. If we can just somehow find a way to get 3 goals a game, we have a chance here.
Yeah, it's so funny. If this was like if we were playing Ottawa, I would just literally just be like, fuck you, you have no chance. Like, fuck off, Tyler, with your combinations. But like being Habs and Leafs, it's just like, and this with so much pressure going on, I'm like, no, I respect all angles because at the end of the day, it can go either way. And if it does, respect your opposition and just, it's not, we're not losing. I know it feels like it is. Like, I think as fans, it feels like it is like 42 years of like pent up like frustration about to happen. And if we lose as either fan, we're like, it's us. Like, no, the team's playing on the ice. Just it's the first of many series, I hope, and let's just go to war.
That's a good point.
That's the big one. Yeah, I definitely hope we see this a bunch and it's not just a one-off. Like for this to happen and then not happen again, like fuck. But I definitely, with the way Boston's trending, that could be a possibility, right? They're getting older, so that's definitely a hope. But it's good to sit down with a guy like Tyler, who I'm sure in his heart of hearts he probably thinks the Leafs are gonna dominate us and just
I wouldn't say dominate, said six.
Yeah, step forward and move on to the next one. But I feel like it has been a little difficult for us as Habs fans to at least make some people realize this isn't a cakewalk. I think for the Leafs, I think they're going to see a much different, much more motivated Habs team in the playoffs that are going to give them a run for their money and give themselves a decent chance to win, a good chance to win, I think. And the biggest thing though is it being a true old school rough series. I definitely don't want to see this just being one team take advantage and then it fizzle out. Like I want to see a hockey playoff series for the ages here.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be it's playoffs, so while you don't want to see Matthews get his spine broken in half, it's the cross-checking stuff though is going to be like, it's going to be more that first game of the year when we weren't getting penalized for it. And it got brought up in the media that it wasn't the Leafs directly. It was the agent of McDavid. I think that it's the same but it started like, the star players being harassed. Depending on the results of the first game, there can be so many places the media can go, but I think it's going to slide like to a point. It's good playoff hockey. Like it
always has.
Yeah. And it's the North Division. Let's be honest. Gary Bettman couldn't care less about who wins out of the North Division because he's going to fuck us over in the top 4 anyway. It's Canada. He doesn't care about our ratings. Yeah, he has his TV deal in the ESPN. He's good, but it's harder hockey. And I to your point, Tyler, with like the frustration part, Montreal's going to clog it down, play hard, and do their thing, and try to stop Toronto from playing their high-skilled, offensive, like high octane game. So depends how the refs go. God, we should probably check who the refs are because there's some that have been absolute dog shit in our division this year. So. Hopefully we have somebody decent.
Typically that's the style of hockey that wins out in the playoffs too. So, I mean, and so if you consider that the Leafs are the clear, favorite, at the very least, it evens the series out.
Yeah. Yeah. I, the pressure part of it all, like it's nice. Montreal's used to being underdogs, I guess. Like when we had like a phase of 3 or 4 years and we were favorites. We were, top of the table. But God, like
Well, every time
it
they
is,
played Boston, it was underdog.
that's the thing, right? And that's where I kind of I compare this series almost. I know it's probably not apples to apples because I mean I was, barely 14 or 13 when that happened, but that 2002 series, Montreal was they got in, but they had the emotional Koivu part from cancer, which we don't have obviously. But Boston was just this powerhouse that came in, and there was no chance. But we had the hot goalie who, stole. We had some opportune goaltending. So for me, I think it's hard not to go get my mind down that path. But of course, it could turn out completely different. I think it's gonna be one of those skill versus will, Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed type of fights that go on here, and we'll see. We'll see if it goes in the trenches or not. But I like our odds. I can understand the Leafs odds, like the Leafs believing their odds as well. Like I get it. I get it on all ends. I can see either team winning. But
Well, it's a rivalry. Like I said, I mean, I don't think in any sport, if you take a rivalry, regardless of the records, I don't think you can feel confident about guaranteed success. I mean, that's what makes a rivalry a rivalry.